it's Susan from Komori no Hime Cosplay, and welcome back to the 20 Years of Anime project, in which we count down to 2020 using costumes. Today we're going to be going not so far back to 2017 and making the dress for Tohru from Maid Dragon. For the base for Tohru's dress, we're going to be using McCall's M7626 as the base pattern, and we're going to be modifying it from view B since that's the longer dress option. For the material, I'm using this kind of mottled cotton calico just because I wanted something with a little bit more visual interest since the dress is just plain blue. And the series itself is really colorful. And we're going to cut out the skirt and pocket pieces and zigzag along the edges to help keep them from fraying. Take the front skirt piece, then we're going to take the inner pocket pieces and sew them along the pocket opening on each side. Turn the pocket inward and top stitch it into place. Take the outer portion of the pocket and we're going to sew it to the inner portion of the pocket all along the curved edge, making sure to not sew the skirt portion underneath. Turn everything facing upward, then we're going to tack the pocket to the front of the skirt and the side of the skirt to keep everything in place. And now we have a functional pocket. Sew the skirt front piece to the skirt back pieces along the side seams. Tohru's bodice is a bit more apron-like than dress-like, so I took the front bodice piece, sewed in the darts, and then trimmed off some material from the side so that it slopes down toward the waist. Repeat that process with the blue fabric to form the outer layer of the bodice. To make the straps of the dress, we're going to cut 2 rectangles out of the blue fabric and fold one of the sides inward and press it flat. To make the ruffles along the strap of the bodice, we're going to cut 4 curved pieces out of white fabric and putting right sides together, sew them together along the curved side. Then we're going to turn them right side out and sew a gathering stitch along the raw edge. Gather the ruffle and sew it part of the way down the length of the blue strap. After the ruffles have been sewn on, fold the blue rectangle in half, and we're going to sew it all along the edge, around the end, and top stitch back up the other side. Position the straps onto the bodice and sew them into place. Putting right sides together, sew the bodice front to the lining all along the sides and the top, leaving the bottom open. Turn the bodice right side out, and we're going to top stitch all along the edge and also stitch along the bottom to keep the 2 sides together. Cut 2 of the waistband pieces out of coral colored fabric, and on one of them apply some fusible interfacing. Take the non-interfaced waistband piece, and we're going to fold over one of the edges and press it into place. Putting right sides together, sew the interfaced waistband piece to the bottom of the dress bodice and to the straps, making sure that they crisscross. Sew the waistband pieces together, sandwiching the dress bodice and straps in between them. Putting right sides together, we're going to sew the bottom of the interfaced waistband to the skirt. Then we're going to sew the front of the waistband to the back of the waistband, keeping the raw edge tucked inward that we had folded and pressed earlier, so that all of the raw edges are encased in the waistband itself. And we're also going to zigzag the little raw edges on the ends on each side to keep them from fraying. Sew the skirt together along the center back seam and insert a zipper. To make Tohru's bow, we're going to cut one big rectangle out of the peachy pink fabric and apply some fusible interfacing. Fold the rectangle in half and sew it together along the long side. Turn the tube right side out and press it flat. Then we're going to zigzag along the raw edges to help keep them from fraying. Putting right sides together, fold the rectangle in half and sew it together along the side. To make the knot of the bow, cut a smaller rectangle out of the peachy pink fabric, fold it in half, and sew it together along the long side to create a tube. Turn the rectangle right side out and press it flat. Then we're going to zigzag along the edges to keep them from fraying. Turn the edges of the rectangle inward and sew them into place. Wrap the knot piece around the center of the bow and hand sew it into place. Then we're going to sew half of a snap onto each side of the knot and sew the corresponding snap pieces to the dress. To finish off the bottom edge of the dress, we're going to attach some ruffled lace, though you could use just some plain gathered ruffles if you like that look better. One thing I should point out is, while it looked fine on the dress form, when I tried on the dress, it did puff out a bit at the sides, so I ended up sewing a little tiny dart onto each side of the bodice. And with that, Tohru's dress is done! For more cosplay tutorial videos, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching!